Hello everyone. I first of all want to wish you a very happy new year. I also want to apologise at the start here. I've started out the year with a cold, so as far as the first upload goes, a little bit annoying. I'm going to try and talk over it as best I can. Obviously it does affect my voice a little bit, being bunged up and so forth, so I apologise for that. Hopefully it won't be too much of an issue as we proceed with the video. I am of course bringing you the Mannequin of the Month for January 2026 today, and the topic we're going to talk about, as usual, was chosen via a poll over on Patreon. But what actually happened in December was there was a draw on that poll with two topics. So I covered one of those topics in December. I'm covering the other topic here, and then there will be two new topics on that poll for the corporals here over on Patreon to consider later on in January for the Mannequin of the Month for February. So what we're looking at here is the kit of a trooper of the Royal Tank Regiment serving in Northern Ireland in the middle 1970s, and this is specifically based on photographs of men of 2 RTR in Northern Ireland in 1974. And one of the reasons I was keen to talk about this and put it up as an option on the poll is it's a good example of troops other than infantry serving on tours in Northern Ireland. Of course, the Royal Artillery involved, Royal Engineers, etc., etc. But the Royal Tank Regiment, it's an interesting topic to cover in that regard. And a lot of the kit we've talked about previously, but just the topic as a whole, a little bit different from that perspective. The kit we have here is was basically set up for a man on a foot patrol, and men of 2 RTR are seen operating in armoured cars, vehicle mounted patrols, and also foot patrol as well during that tour in 1974. So the kit as we have here, we'll start at the top as we normally do, and the most distinct feature of course is the beret, and this is the black beret. We have the Royal Tank Regiment cap badge here, but interestingly, as was common with most cap badges, cap badges worn in Northern Ireland at this time, it's been blackened, as you can see, and I'm sure the Royal Tank Regiment were very happy for the opportunity to blacken something. But the cap badge is blackened, which was common across regiments serving in Northern Ireland at the time. You see lots of photographs of men wearing blackened badges on their berets, and the wearing of berets, of course, by this point was basically promoted to, I think it's a bit of esprit de corps, but also to give a sort of less militaristic look. The helmets had been worn extensively in the early days and still would be for anti-riot duties and so forth. Obviously specialist helmets have been introduced by this point, but in many circumstances berets, a soft headdress, regimental headdress, not always berets of course, but regimental headdress was worn frequently for this sort of, I guess, propaganda reason, you could say. So we have the black beret there, Royal Tank Regiment cap badge, which has been blackened, simply painted black. A typical feature of operations in Northern Ireland is the body armour, and this is a set of US 3/4 collar body armour, so this has a ballistic nylon filler in a nylon outer cover. British would make covers for these and modify covers for these, so this is a plain as issued example, but they were sometimes modified with flat rubber pads added on one or other shoulder, and also with modification to the front where press studs and snaps had failed, or some examples were also manufactured, covers were also manufactured in different patterns as well for the same filler, basically. So the outer cover could vary, but it's still very common in the mid-70s to see unaltered US covers as we have here, and also the earlier M1952A body armour as well, which is very similar to this but doesn't have the 3/4 collar as this pattern does. So little note on body armour here. Underneath the body armour we have the jersey heavy wool, and you can see that here. This is an early example, a 70s example, which lacks the epaulettes up on the shoulders, so you still have the shoulder reinforcement and the elbow reinforcement, which we'll see more clearly as we move this round, but you do not have the epaulettes on the shoulders on this example. And then in terms of web equipment, a very limited set of web equipment is carried, again fairly typical for Northern Ireland. You have here the ammunition pouch round on the front left hip, and that carries ammunition for the self-loading rifle was often carried, or Sterling submachine gun in some instances, but you have that there. And then round on the other hip, as we'll see in a minute, you have the water bottle, of course carried on the 1958 pattern belt, and this is slung quite low on the hip so as not to interfere with the body armour. As you'll see as we move this round, the back of the body armour actually overlaps the belt, so it does have to be worn quite low in order to be carried in this way. So that's the front of the Mannequin, and having run through the kit here, we'll start moving this round and have a look at some of the other details which aren't readily apparent from the front. Moving this round to look at the right hand side of the Mannequin, one thing to note here, a slight change from the earlier M1952A and the very, very earliest versions of the 3/4 collar body armour. There's no epaulette on the shoulder here, as you can see. Those are omitted from the design, apart from the very, very earliest manufacturer of these. You can see more details of the Jersey heavy wool here. You can see the shoulder reinforcement there in cotton drill still at this time, as you can see there, and the same for the elbow reinforcement there. So it's very similar to the later patterns, but missing that epaulette on the shoulder as said. Round on the rear right hip here, we have the water bottle in carrier, pushed fairly far round on the hip so as not to interfere with the body armour. We'll see more detail of that in a moment. This is a second issue water bottle pouch, which would be fairly common by the mid-1970s. And of course you have the bottle and the cup nested together in there, obviously just carried round on the hip as we have it here. We'll move this round now and have a look at the back. Looking at the back here, you can see the back of the body armour is one big sheet of nylon duck, the outer covering here. You can see the waist belt disappears under that back panel of the body armour there, and you can see the bottom of the Jersey heavy wool with the weave of that coming out there. Just a detail to note here. It's quite common to see, certainly among men of 2RTR, the Jersey heavy wool being worn as an outer garment. Of course, it could be worn under the combat smock if required in cold weather, but it's quite common to see men of 2RTR wearing this as an outer garment with the body armour over the top. Worn with the combat trousers and generally with DMS with blackened anklets at this time. That's the back of the mannequin. We'll move this around now and have a look at the left-hand side. Looking at the left-hand side here, there's not a huge amount more to see. I will just lift the arm out of the way here and we can have a detailed look at the ammunition pouch here. You'll notice it's the same width as the loops for the bayonet here effectively. This is a second issue example, so it has the simplified lid. It's lost the stiffening from the sides of the lid, but it is only 2 magazines deep, whereas of course the third issue was slightly bigger. The third issue had been in production for quite a few years at this point, but it's still common to see these second issue pouches in use in Northern Ireland at this time. Obviously the loops on the side are intended for the carriage of a bayonet. No bayonet is carried here, which again is common to see. One final thing I'll mention about the beret, which I forgot to mention at the start here. This is not particularly well shaped to illustrate the point, but it's particularly true of men of 2RTR and the Royal Tank Regiment more generally serving in Northern Ireland around this time in the 1970s. It's not uncommon to see the beret badge worn almost centrally on the forehead with the beret pulled down in both directions. And this is an affectation due to the wearing of headsets with the beret. And of course, having it shaped down on both sides means you can wear a headset with earphones more comfortably. And when not wearing a headset, that sort of style persisted in certain instances. And it's something you see amongst other troops as well who wore headsets on a routine basis. So just something to note here. It's common to see, a little bit difficult to display on the mannequin that way, particularly as this one is moulded to be worn pulled down at the right. But just something I wanted to note here, which I didn't talk about when we were looking at the front of the mannequin. So I hope you found it interesting looking at this. It's been nice to put this together, very simple set of equipment. Obviously it's quite stripped down, there's very little web equipment here and so forth, so it's quite easy to put together. And given I've got the cold and everything and the sore throat, it's quite nice to have not had to talk too much about the kit on the mannequin, but it is something a little bit different. So it's nice to have this set up and to be able to talk about it. So I do hope you found it interesting. If you have and you'd like to see more of this sort of thing, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you'd like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as I always say, a massive thank you to everybody who supports the channel using those two methods. It really is greatly appreciated. And of course, it's the corporal tier over on Patreon, which gets you the opportunity to vote on what's going to be covered each month in Mannequin of the Month. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, where there will be photographs of this posted up as well, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, but you don't really use social media, there is an email address in the description as well. A very happy new year once again. Other than that, that's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.